Well, folks, it seems like it's never ending stupid in the media. Has anyone noticed that? It's almost to the point the reporters are giving up. I've noticed that Bill Mayer went after the president the other day, and then Laura Ingraham went after the Republican. It's like everyone's just pissed off. So now it's kind of funny because I turn it on and I'm like, okay, what stuff is going to come out of someone's mouth? Um, hey, Virginia Bushcrafter. So I will have, I've had a couple of videos rolling out regarding my take on this hypersonic missile thing that keeps getting brought up. Uh, and that one's going to premiere tomorrow. So make sure you come and check that one out. But I have some thoughts as an engineer, especially a guy who's studied aerospace and literally rocket science in undergrad. So we've got an old job for interview today. So your previous job emailed you and now you started tomorrow. Is that a congratulations or condolences kind of thing? Is that good? Did they give you a raise or something? I mean, right now, the way the economy is, employment in general, if it's legitimate, is not a bad thing for sure. But some jobs do suck and they're not fun. So, by all means. So, I was looking through the news because Tuesday I like to kind of look at the news going on, and all the news is stupid. Like I'm wondering if like everyone's just lost their mind. So it's kind of funny. Let me see if I can get this one up though, because this one I thought was interesting. So if you're working for someone else, it sucks. This is true. Okay, so true story, Carl. I learned this both in my previous company, which is ironic because I left for the very reason they pointed it out. But they said the majority of people who quit a company typically quit because of, when we had this group of technical people and they were international, they were like, oh, it was pay, it was status, it was promotion. No, it was the manager. The biggest reason people quit a job was their immediate manager or the manager above them, like somebody in their immediate leadership. And the second most common was a toxic employee that was getting away with stupidity, uh, and the managers weren't dealing with it. So I guess technically the manager as well. So, hey, Loretta, yeah, listen in. And if you need to get rest, get some rest. Oh, you get your classroom back. I forgot you are a teacher. How old are the kids, though? Because, I find it that the elementary is a lot of fun. And the high schoolers you can be very straight with. Junior high are a bunch of turds. Like I didn't like my kids when they were in junior high, much less when someone else's kids caca and they get paid in a that's a good it's usually caca. I yes, this man had no clue. I've never oh see, and that's pre-K. Pre-K is fun. Everything's cool to them. Don't teach them this alternative nonsense. Let them play with bricks and lick Legos and stuff. Uh, because that's what kids are supposed to do. My dad had a great saying. He said, when kids come home sick, dirty, or with a black eye from having fallen off a tree, they're they're healthy kids. He said, when they're all pale and sad, that's when they're not healthy. And at the time, I thought he was being stupid. But now looking at all these children with their little headsets in the mall, we're programming a whole generation of children to not react to their environment. And that scares the crap out of me. I mean, hey, hillbilly, what's going on? Has anyone else noticed that? You go to the store, if you haven't, look and see. Watch the families because there's some that the kids are cutting up and they're playing and they're just goofing off. And granted, they're probably being little toots, but at least they're being kids. And then there's some, they have these headsets and they got their little iPad, and they're just like, and it's like do 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 do, and the kids zoned out. And then I see big kids. I mean, kids that are they're young in the face, but they're physically adults. And hey, Lucky, hola, welcome. Glad you made it. And the kids don't. They're just walking around like this, like they're gonna get a deformed neck walking around like that for the next 10 years, and they're oblivious. You know, made people OCD. Yeah, I think it made people stupid is what it made them. Hey, Red October, what is going on? Everyone's favorite knife wielding Texan. And by the way, he has that throwing range in his backyard. That looks like a lot of fun. My fear is I'm not accurate throwing knives, and I would inadvertently end the life of the neighbor's chihuahua, which I don't like, but I don't want to kill someone's dog by accident. That would kind of suck. Get a saw sharp to cut some firewood. There you go. And yeah, it's hey, Tennessee Tactical, welcome. So, oh, speaking of tactical, you just reminded me. So Thursday, I posted a preview on Discord. I'll be doing it'll be a video. I'm comparing three different combat handguns. I'm going to lay them all out. We're going to go through all the specs, the weights, their shootability, and whatnot. And hopefully, if I don't get kicked off again, I'll have to pre-record my range time and do a shoot off between a couple of them, just so you guys can kind of see. Oh yeah, well TT1 will I whooped my kid. Wait, hold on, I missed something there. Whose kid got whooped? What happened? The best part is someone who isn't me gets to deal with starting nap time. So my my uncle, who came from the German side of the family, yes, that's a whole nother story there. He was a Navy corpsman, and he fled Germany because part of the family was Jewish on his side, and they fled when Hitler took over. The ones that didn't flee perished in the concentration camps. And he used to refer to a correction as the fat hand. He said, yes, he would give children the fat hand or the dark hand. I don't remember. It was something really silly. It sounded mafia ish, but it was stupid. And he said, yeah, he'd go to the stores, and somebody else's kid would be carrying on, but the parent wasn't there. And he'd smack other people's kids. He would just crack them right across the back of the neck and just give them like basically give them a strawberry or a cherry right on the back of the neck, just wow, and keep going. My Discord page, that's a good question. I will need to summon my Discord page. Discord. I will have to look it up. Hang on just a second. So, so I will be doing live streams with a couple of folks. We have Apartment Prepper and Lucky will be joining me later in the month, and then we're going to do a panel with Triple Threat, Texas Redleg, Off the Wall, and myself on another evening. Tennessee, I owe you an email. I wanted to do something, but my schedule got screwed up and I had to move all the lives around. Um, I'm watching my kids through the window. Youngest is wrestling a baby goat. Middle kid's wandering in circle. See, and you wonder, how did you get wet? Why do you have a 22? And who's fighting the goat? Why are you fighting a goat? See, those are the fun times when you, as a parent, when you just look out and go, what the heck? Okay, let's see if I can invite people. Copy. Okay, so for those of you who were looking for my Discord, I got a wooden spoon to the backside. So my dad wasn't into wooden spoons, but I'd get it with the Sunday version of the Daily News back in New York. And that thing was like, if you rolled it up, it was like that thick, and it had that air pocket in the middle. So I don't think he hit me as hard as I thought he did, but it made this resounding sound, like, and kids would just go down, right? Because you thought you were dead, and in reality, I still get the old man taking three. Yeah, Joe's got his hands full there. It could be. So this is why, militant. This is why you need a corgi. I think the corgis are perfect. Of course, mine are down there. They've lost interest in the day. I was telling Joe on Discord earlier that she's obsessed with the goats. That's not a bad thing. Uh, the Papillon, the little fluffy guy, decided to bark at Amazon. I don't know. He was just barking to be a douche. And then I told him to hush and ran him off. So he came and barked at me. And the minute he barked at me, the corgis went after him because they are herding dogs, and I'm the leader of the herd. And apparently I gave an instruction to one of the members of the pack, and the pack member disobeyed. So the corgi's correcting the Papillon. So he's now in protective custody in his crate, because if I let him out, they're going to kick his ass again, and they'll take fluff off of him and everything. Kids are too stupid these days to know better. Hey Nate, welcome. Red, it's true. Recently we went out to eat, and some young guy, and when I say young, maybe early 20s, but obviously very clueless. We were traveling, we were in Dallas, so it's very hipstery, that area of Dallas. And this kid said something to somebody, like there was a guy and his wife, and this was a big boy, like I wouldn't have gone and messed with him. And the guy was being super nice, having a good time with his spouse, and some little like skinny jean guy was running smack, and he said something disrespectful, and the wife said, hey, go over there and be stupid. And the guy, hey Penny, welcome. And the guy said something ugly to the wife, and this big boy was on his feet so fast and had this guy by the lapel, and he didn't hit him, he ragdolled him like, like you shake a bad cat or a kid, like, hey, knock it off. Or I don't know what he was trying to do, but he rattled this guy like a maraca. And the guy squealed. I've never heard someone squeal like that unless they electrocute themselves. And they said, you can't do that. You can't do that. He just said he didn't touch her. He just said words. And the big guy was like, words have consequences, off the internet. Leave. And all the stupids just left. But yeah, absolutely stupid. Um, the level of brainlessness I see in certain people is just phenomenal, which is scary because under 18 they're a juvie, and they think, oh, I'm a JV, I'm juvie, so I can do horrendous things and I'm going to get away with it. And that's dangerous, because have you seen some of the sizes of the 17-year-olds now, or 16-year-old? They're physically large enough to hurt an adult. So that's not bueno. He need his ass beat. Well, I don't know, but I bet all the jingle bells in his head were, you know, go all over his head, just ringing around, because that dude about made him stupid. Uh, Depends what's on state. This is true, and it also depends on the nature of what they're doing. Yeah, and see, and that's the point. Like if uh, you're in LA, right? Apparently you can go and pee on people and that's okay. But in Texas, you do that and you get a beating and pepper sprayed. So uh, I was 6'7" and 410 pounds senior year. Hey, no, and you know what? I wonder if the last 3 years, say since the cootie appeared, and then everyone gets locked down, so they're all on the internet, and they basically we raised a generation of unsocialized puppies. I don't know. Do you guys follow what I'm saying? They basically don't know how to act. And the people who are already trolls on the internet became emboldened because they're like, we can. I can say whatever. And then they go in the street and say the very things they would say to any of us on the internet. And they get punched in the face and they're shocked. They're absolutely floored that someone just punched them in the head. And they don't understand that, well, you just threatened to rape someone, and so you got a consequence. They don't get it. Yeah. Oh, hey, Cold War, what's going on? I miss Cold War snuck in on me here. There you go. Oh, okay. So the Texans, Red, Cold War, Lucky, and there are a few others. Are y'all cloudy and overcast today? Because it's actually like 85 degrees in West Texas. It's been in the triple digits for weeks. I'm just curious if all of y'all, and has anyone gotten rain in Texas? Because it looks like rain, but my weather corgi has not indicated rain was occurring. So, but so I'm going to share this article. There's no audio on this one. So we've all talked about this, right? The Inflation Reduction Act. I've made some videos on it. This really doesn't help us being people who work for a living. 97 here, lots of clouds. Okay, so y'all got the clouds too. Texas here, no rain for us yet. Okay, no rain. Oh, hey, Jonathan, you snuck in on me there. 100 here. Oh, you guys are still hot in Fort Worth. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the good thing was it was so freaking hot. There were no scorpions in my yard, nor were there those stupid flies that bite you because they were probably all dead. Uh, but hey, Stuart snuck in too. It's blazing hot. I think Pal Ponder on weather cool down some rain. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it yet. So they have passed the, oh, hey, drops. No rain there either. Okay. Yeah, we're 85-ish. It's nice though. It's refreshing. Hey, Glenn. So they passed the Inflation Reduction Act. I've done a couple of shorter videos on this. Um, what has it done for us? So they gave everyone a 7,500 tax write-off if you buy an electric car. Okay, great, fine and dandy. So what did Ford and the other dealers do? They raised the cost by 7,500 bucks. So it's worthless to us. It's nothing. Cold front 99 here in Greater Austin area. And Amazon has driven by. They do have a deep bark, don't they? Uh, yeah. Well, Cold War. Next time I'm in Austin, I'll have to hit you up because I'm there every couple of months. So we'll need. I got to meet Texas Redleg up here in West Texas, which was fun. He's a great guy. You'd like him. Uh, but yeah, so they're it was supposed to reduce inflation, but basically it addressed climate change and raise taxes. What they're trying to do, remember in the previous video, the value of the dollar is a function of the number of dollars in circulation and the GDP of the country. When you have too many dollars, it's basically GDP divided by number of dollars, and et cetera. This is very simplistic. The more dollars you have, the more you dilute the value of each dollar. I mean, that should kind of more common sense idea, concept. So right now, rebates and credits for heat pumps and solar can lower your energy bill, which is great, but they're raising the cost. So here they say if you're thinking about an electric vehicle, first ever credit for a used EV and 7,500 credit for new electric vehicles. But you'll probably meet me. I probably will. Yeah, I don't think we're very far at all, Glenn. You need to jump on my Discord. I bet you're a lot closer than we think we are. Um, but yeah, refrigerant since what? Oh man, see, and so what you have installed in your house right now, is probably going to be outdated. So when you try to sell it, the new buyer, if you choose to sell your home, your new buyer would probably try to negotiate a cost change because they're going to have to deal with that, unless it gets grandfathered in, and it may. Um, okay, in Australia, mixed with a corgi is called a cowboy corgi, and apparently somebody that may supposedly they said it was Texas, but I heard it was Arkansas, Oklahoma had the first cowboy corgi. Um, they're actually very cute and super smart, but they have crazy energy and can become turds if left bored. And then they destroy things because they're bored. They're coal powered cars. Okay, Glenn, I posted the Discord further up in the chat. I'll pop it in there again. Uh, have a Great Dane. Those are big poops, dude. I love Great Danes. They're great dogs, but that's a big dog. But yeah, so they gave us the $7,500 tax credit for buying an electric vehicle, but the dealerships all went up in price, and they've been getting called out for it. So healthcare, that may be good. Medicare can negotiate prescription drugs directly with pharmaceutical companies, so maybe that'll shorten the chain of custody there, so it doesn't have to go through some other idiot. But and they're saying it'll be a $35 a month cap on insulin purchase. So they're finally addressing that. So that may be a good thing for folks who are retired or on Medicare or Medicaid. But they're also going to assign from okay, and they're also trying to. The problem is they're also going to prevent another 13 million people from getting increased healthcare costs. But the money's got to come from somewhere. So where's it coming from? It's going to be there's going to be an increase. Goldman Sachs analysts said the minimum tax and buybacks would decrease S&P earnings by 1.5% on the whole, but potential bottom line drag from the new minimum would be a 15% corporate tax rate minimum. So basically, companies are going to get hit with the burden of spreading the money out. But what this doesn't address is the fact that some folks are saying it's actually going to hit the middle class as well, and that may be where the 87,000 IRS agents are supposed to come from. So let's see. So according to this, no. So these guys claim no. This is KHOU down in Houston. And I don't want to see that. Oh, for crying out loud. So I'll share this one as well so you guys can take a peek. So hold on a second. It did not show. Hey now. Hey, what's going on, Hayes Gray? There we go. Let's try that again because apparently it does not want to share. Well, apparently it won't share. Well, crap. All right. Well, there we go. Let me see if it'll do the right thing here. Ta-da. And it will not. So, oh well, that was that. Watch. Now I'm going to close the window. Now it's going to share. So let's try that again. So let's see if we can get that puppy to come up a second time. Nope, it does not wish to play with us. Here we go. So they're claiming that the middle class will not get hit with a major tax increase. The legislation imposes a 15% minimum tax on large corporations, but there are no individual income tax hikes included in the Inflation Reduction hike. Uh, this, I don't know how true this is, because the problem is you may also see an increase in small business taxes. So kind of hard to say where it's going to go. But hey, Rip Curl, thanks for joining us, man. If you haven't heard the news, me and Murphy's Law got in. Oh, well, congratulations. I did not know this. So, yeah, we're looking at a lot of increases. A lot of money is being dispensed. Now, I'm kind of questioning, are they trying to take money out of the economy with the corporate taxes, but then they're dumping money back in on the other side? So, how's it going to play out? Like where's it going to go? Hey, William, welcome. So you got to start asking questions, and I think I'm going to talk to a few folks I know. I may do a separate video on tips to navigate taxes and try to get write-offs and deductions the best you can. Carbon Q, welcome. So actually, there are three things, Militant, that cause inflation. One is the amount of currency in circulation, uh, to a lesser extent, the velocity of money, the GDP of the nation. Government spending is a big one, and that's probably where you're going with it. So let's pull them up, see if I can find it. What causes inflation? And like I said, I do like Forbes. I don't like their politics, but I do like the way they explain things here. So basic definition: inflation is caused by the increase in the prices of goods and services throughout an economy. We're all experiencing that now. Low inflation is necessary for the economy, but too much will cause problems. So they're stating the inflation has spun out of control lately, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, June 2022. So this is a little bit dated. The consumer price index increased 9.1 over the previous 12 months. Now, keep in mind the consumer price index, or the CPI, is an aggregate. So if fuel went up 100% and beef went up 3%, well, no, beef went up 100% too. I don't know, rice went up 10%. They're going to average it out and come up with this number. Um, Cleaner, smarter, and has better personality. All right. Flip to digital because they can increase the velocity of money. That they will be here soon. Drops, that's going to cause damage too, because now it's a bit of voodoo. Like, exactly where's the money going? You can hit a button and make money velocity. So that's a bit concerning. Rising inflation rates mean everything from groceries to cars becomes more expensive. So, for example, the CPI measures the changes in prices paid by U.S. consumers for food, fuel, housing, transportation, apparel, and other expenses. Personal consumption expenditures price index, or the PCE, also takes this approach. So there are lots of uh, basically these are aggregate measurements, but they give a good picture. So if it's 9% on the aggregate, it doesn't mean that certain products haven't gone up double or triple, and others may have only gone up single digit percents. But averaged out, calculated out, it comes out to 9, which is a phenomenally high rate. Yeah, and Magic, that's insane. Inflation, yeah, 2% inflation is good. You need a little bit, economically speaking, the way the equations work. But when it's 10%, you can't buy bread. I mean, of course not. No, no. And what we've created, and this may be a subject for a whole nother live, if we've created a non-royal blood aristocracy. That's exactly what we've created. Uh, the stupidity of one of those politicians who said, well, People just need to buy electric vehicles and get over it. That's akin to Marie Antoinette's "Let them eat cake," right? The arrogance of these people just blows my mind, and it if something government's telling you something is good, it isn't. Probably not. No, Yardbirds. Oh yeah, and again, the CPI is purely a calculation in the aggregate. A lot of day-to-day things that affect all of us in the chat and myself, it's closer to the 20, 25, 30%, I promise you. I actually found a picture of chicken a year ago, a buck 89 a pound in my area, up from 98 cents, or went up a buck. And I had posted, wow, this went up, this doubled, and it's now 298. So in 2 years, it's tripled in price. So each year it doubles. No, it is not looking good. So reasons, demand pull inflation is one factor. There's an increase in demand of goods and services, not enough supply chain issues. So that's part of the problem. Cost push, in this case, demand drives up prices, but also increases production costs, which we're seeing as well. But I think demand pull has been more of a factor because people want product and they can't get it because the supply chain is screwed up, and China's trying to lock people in damn IKEA because a guy walked in and had a positive Rona test. So they tried to lock him in IKEA and they freaked out. Um, Devaluation, which, and it's funny, they say if the US dollar devalues against a euro, it takes more dollars to purchase the same amount of euros. Right. But what they don't say here in the devaluation is if you print too much damn money and throw it into the economy, um, you have so much GDP divided among so many dollars. If you double the number of dollars, the value of each dollar goes down. And these people don't get this, or they don't care really. That's a really good idea too. Electric vehicles are crap. Oh yeah, yeah, and this is true. Historical context is absolutely right. When she said "let them eat cake," they were referring to the caked on items in those old brick ovens. So after the bread was made, there would be like a residue that would get scraped off and given to the poor. That was cake. So it wasn't like, oh, here's an Angel Foods cake. She was not being nice. She was being terrible. Thank you for pointing that out, Glenn. That's a really good historical reference. Yeah, that concerns the heck out of me. And to be honest with you, if a government goes to that, that's going to be a problem. Uh, for starters, at the regional level, fill the House of Representatives with people that would not endorse this. You'd be shocked. So there was method to the madness that the House of Representatives goes up for election every 2 years, the Senate every four. The Senate was meant to be the more stable, consistent group, but the House of Representatives was meant to reflect the changes of the people. Um, Barring that, I'd diversify if possible. And I'm not a financial analyst, so full disclosure. But talking, and when I say diversify property, if you have some, great, get your homestead exemption. That's a great way to defeat taxes. If you can get other properties, rentals, stuff like that, that's a good thing too. Precious metals. If you're a stock market savvy person, start changing from more risky stocks to precious metals, commodities. You're going to have to play and do a little bit of homework. But yeah, if it is scary, and the question is who, and you can refuse. I don't know exactly how that's all going to work, but at the end of the day, if it's digital, it can be hacked, it can be manipulated, it can be crashed. Right? You have 500 bucks in your little safe box at home. You can't, unless you burn it, you can't crash the $500. You can crash a bank. Uh, but diversify, and also if you can increase your personal food production or shorten your personal supply chain, so you're dealing with things much closer to home, that opens the door to things like trading goods, bartering. If somebody has egg laying hens and you need eggs and you just happen to have a proliferation of really nice bell peppers, go have a conversation with the neighbor that has eggs. And you guys kind of get what I'm saying. I would also do, if you can, and it's not possible for everyone, a side hustle, right? And what I mean by that is if you work one job, but you say, for instance, I used to be a tech writer. So I guess a side hustle for me could be I could advertise to the local college or local businesses, hey, I'll proofread your graduate papers or your high school, your college papers, and you pay me X, right? So it's a skill set I have. If you're a welder, you do a hustle on the side, get your own gear. Basically, don't just diversify the money, diversify how you get income, how you interact with the world around you. It's easier said than done. But the other thing, actually, looking at that next thing, rising wages, right? So as they keep increasing the minimum wage, you keep pushing dollars. Yes, thank you, Matt, and that's correct. It's not only the Senate's not every 2 year, but it's a whole third of the Senate. So you could very quickly change the face of the House of Representatives or even a chunk of the Senate every couple of years, and be proactive. I've already spoken to two of my local representatives. One's the state rep, one's the federal rep for us, and I've met them both. I know the state rep. My state rep for my area, I've shot clays with him. You know, he and I are in contact for his next campaign. He's a conservative, he's a Christian family valued type of guy, but he's also a business guy. He understands, diversity of people is what is needed, and intelligent business. Um, if he wants to outreach to the Hispanic community, there are a handful of us that speak both languages that can go and, bring people to listen, at least to hear what he's got to say. Change your local, and it's not just one; it's from the other one. Either party, there are people in both parties who are not stupid. The problem is we're not seeing them because of the stupid ones. So try to push some folks. I think the reason only. Yeah, Rip, I fear you may be onto something, and I've always moonlighted. That's always a good thing. And actually, speaking of moonlighting, I've seen a whole slew of people selling jams, jellies, pickled stuff, canned stuff, water bath can, pressure canned at the farmer's market. It's a great way to make extra money or get extra product. Even if you don't sell the jars, you can trade for something you need. So, wait, hold on, I lost something else. Yeah, and if you're not declaring it, and what concerns me is this, um, IRS historically, they had an enforcement division, but they were typically IRS was typically uh, a subpoenaing authority. They would send you letters if you didn't comply, then you get a subpoena, and now you have to show up in a court, and law enforcement would deal with the enforcement part, right? And they would go through legal channels. If they're adding basically what amounts to like what, two regiments of agents in the US, that's bizarre. It's not like they're border patrol where they're getting shot at by cartels, that's just, yeah. And it starts local. It absolutely will start local. And I think that's going to be a challenge, is the way our constitution is structured. States may refuse to enforce laws, and that may be impetus behind why a bunch of agents. But it's interesting you bring that up, Rip, because the timing is really suspect. Uh, so these guys, they give you how to protect your finances from inflation. Really, it's a lot of investment ideas. Switch to a high yield savings account. change your investments in the stock market, diversify your portfolio. I'm saying take it another level. Don't just diversify a portfolio, diversify everything you can, right? Even learn to eat different groceries. I know nobody wants to drink oat milk. Try it. If milk gets too expensive, you can switch gears, or better yet, find a farmer that provides milk locally. Buy your local milk. There are ways to diversify both your personal supply chain and your finances. So they can suck my side hustle. Come and get it. Anything I can, I'm not selling, but so Mrs. Ghetto, what I did ask one of the canners, and someone actually bought a dehydrator for himself. It turned out he was a prepper, and it turned out his son was following me, which is kind of funny. We ran into each other in the farmers market out here, and he said he bought it. So it was him, his son, and a daughter, and he's an older gentleman than I am. And they bought one of those commercial dehydrators, and so they were doing it for themselves because they each have farms, they each have acreage. So they were starting to coordinate and say, okay, you plant peppers, you plant green beans. I don't know, however they were doing it. They were dehydrating and or freeze drying. I'm sorry, freeze drying and dehydrating a bunch of goods. And then they had too much of, like, I don't remember what it was, like strawberries. There was just too many, and they had this idea. Well, why don't we sell some on the side? And that's what they started doing. I actually grabbed quite a few of them. And that's another way to fight the system. Buy local, right? Don't buy from the People's Republic of We Don't Like America and Canada. Yeah, they can go a la pendejada. We don't need them. Buy it local. Get it here. Pay the extra 50 cents if you can afford it. That's possible. Well, all the coins went away. I mean, where the hell did the coins go? All you need is blender food. I saw that video, Gizmo's World, and I was tempted to try it, but I never got around to it, and then I can't find the video anymore. So, which is a bummer. But again, diversifying, folks, that might help you. Uh, Try to deal with some of this stuff, and truthfully, we don't know where it's going, right? Because let's face it, some of these people, they come up with these bills. I don't think they read the damn things. They just sign them and then tell their constituents, I signed a bill because I'm more smarter. And they're all stupid. And to the point, actually, I found this video earlier and I thought I'd share it now. Let me see if I can get it going here. And hold on a second. So these folks are actually in Texas, I believe. You buy real things. That's a good way to put it, Livingston. Buy real things with fake money while you still can. And remember, silver may not be usable for Walmart, but it is a transfer of wealth. Whenever there's been a collapse, there's always been a rebuilding on the other side. So I know this sounds kind of dark, and maybe it's not. I'm trying to position myself to get through the caca to catch the upswing on the other side, at least as best as I can. I'm going to share this video. And Livingston, welcome. It's always great to have this guy on. If you haven't seen him in Hudson, you got to check him out. Because these guys are absolutely a hoot. Let me know if you can hear the audio on this one, gang.
And with very good reason. Our next guest got a knock on the door 13 years ago, and it was just the beginning of a very grueling experience. And now they have a warning. Can you imagine a government coming into your home and you have to give them everything? It shouldn't have happened to us. It's about to happen to you, too, if you own a business. Anyone remember being self-employed was a good thing? Every move I make, the government wants to control it. Cattle Ranch owner Deborah and David Haida, they are here today with their story, and thank you so much for being here. I wanted to talk to somebody who had gone through this. And Deborah, maybe you could start off by just explaining to people what your business is and what happened that day when they knocked on your door.
Sure. Well, my husband is a row crop farmer since he was about 18 years old, but lifetime, generational. And we got audited over basically a $7,800 engine rebuild on a very old tractor, 1990. 90s tractor. It was a very important tractor to us, but we couldn't afford to replace it. We're basically middle class, and I don't know, they just said this was a red flag, and we're gonna audit you, and we're coming to your house. And I thought, gosh, that's, can I just fax this to you? And that was not an option. They came to my house, asked for all bank records for that year. I took out our box of receipts. Farmers love to throw receipts in boxes, and we handed it to him. And I said, "Here's your receipt. Here's the tractor. The guy's numbers on it. It's legitimate." And he said, "Okay, well, I'm going to now need 3 years of your life and your bank statements." I kept everything in binders, so that was it was all my information was there. I was not hiding anything.
And when you asked him when you asked him about, I think this is incredible, David. Maybe you could fill this part in. When you asked him, why he was going after you, you basically had to fill a quota, David.
Probably. I mean, they said it flagged it because our expenses were high that year, and it was because of this repair, and that's what it was. We knew it when he said it. They were too high. We pulled that bill out, showed it to him, and but he wasn't satisfied. He kept digging. He ended up nailing us. Our tax person was giving us 80% on our work vehicles, and he said, "No, you can only do 50%." And he goes, "Well, who takes the kids to school?" I said, "Well, I take them in the morning. My wife stayed at home, and so I just took them while I'm going to a field somewhere." And he goes, "Oh, you can't do that.
Wow.
You can only use 50% of that."
Deborah, what do you want?
That's where.
Excuse me, I don't want to lose the time. We have this limited time with you, and you're such an important guest for us. Deborah, what do you want people out there in the world to know that this is the possibility? Your chances of being audited are going up. Yes, the rich might get some more audits, but middle-class people are too. What should they be prepared for?
I was very naive about the situation. I had no idea of the power, the scope, going in 3 years of my life, sitting at my living room table, and me having no control over that, no control over the information he was given. It was very invasive. You feel very attacked because that guy wanted to go back and say, "I got her." Mm-hmm. And they want to get you. If they're coming after you for an audit, they don't want to see your receipt and go, "Oh, okay, you're good." No, they're going to nitpick your life apart. And that's not what the American dream is for self-employment, small business. I mean, that's just a kick in the teeth to do that to people living the American dream.
Deborah and David.
700.
Go ahead.
He got $50 from us, and he was there for 3 days, and he came from Dallas every day.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Okay, that's unbelievable. You guys are amazing Americans. Thank you, and thank you for being good Americans to tell us your story. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so all that drama, and all they did was, hold on. There we go. That suddenly started replaying. It got really loud. Yeah, I got an idea. Let's harm them too. Yeah. Yeah, so that whole rigmarole, and they got what, under $1,000, but they absolutely disrupted this ranch for 3-4 days, and I'm sure it was stressful. It was disruptive. Yeah, and it's stupid. It's absolutely dumb. I would also, I'm not a fan of calling lawyers, but I would find a good lawyer. If you think you're going to get audited, especially if you own a ranch, cattle, where this might happen to you, get familiar with a lawyer, and someone who, one of the best lawyers I saw in Houston was a former IRS agent who he got frustrated with the IRS, retired, and became a tax lawyer. And basically his job was to beat up the IRS whenever they audited you. And apparently he was very good at what he did. Like, he knew politicians, he knew judges, he would just give them a complete miserable time. And but yeah, all that nonsense for under $1,000. It's not like, there's somebody had a private island that important people flew to, and they did things that people should be investigating, but we're not going to investigate them because those are the let's eat cake leaders. The rest of us can go get annoyed by stupid people for $700. No, yeah, they need to, yes, and that's true. Pay the extra amount in case you're audited. Uh, and again, if you can't justifiably claim it, you may be better off not taking the deduction. Uh, and again, if you're expecting a big, and there are tricks too, like so a tractor repair, you can depreciate the tractor over so many years. I think a truck, I don't know about ag, a semi or a work truck, and when I say truck, like a box truck, like a panel truck, is 7 year depreciation. Pickups are 5. Computers are 48, no, 36 months. I don't remember how it works. There are different ways to do it. Some people just saying no. Yeah, maybe. You can 1099 and make sure you keep your ducks in a row. So keeping records will be very useful if you, especially if you have a small business. If you're just selling like some little things on the side, you probably won't be on the radar. It's when you, but think about it. They're spending a boatload of money since 2020, the election. Since the beginning of 2021 till now, trillions of dollars. The money's got to come from somewhere. The money's got to come from somewhere, and they're not going to take it from the bougie people. And when I say bougie, I'm not talking about people who earn their way to be bougie. I'm talking about the people who've been in office for 30, 40 years on a what 150,000 a year salary, but are now worth 25 million. That's pretty impressive. I'd like to know how to do that. So and you know, Sean, I've been working on a video. I actually, and yeah, I'm assuming that will happen. Uh, I I got to go to the Holocaust Museum I'd mentioned in Dallas, and again, the collaboration, the neighbors turning on neighbors, or even worse, family turning on family. Uh, but honestly, this hurts everyone. This doesn't really, this kind of behavior doesn't help, and they're just going to make it worse going forward. So I think the best thing you can do in the short term, speak out, write your local, and you can affect local elections, okay? Like city council, mayor. I've seen mayor in Texas in both in the Valley when I was living down there, as well as in Houston. Small elections can be turned around with 100 votes. Dead serious. I've watched guys become mayor of a town and they won by 50 votes, 100 votes. Change that. Start small, start local, and work your way up. Well, they already have debtor's prison, really, because it's called the white collar uh, prison where you evade taxes and then they throw you in jail. Who knows? It's absolutely crazy, and yeah, oh yeah, and the dealer's working on it. So get educated, learn. You want to battle this? Learn how to deal with it. Um, yeah, no kidding. Um, get familiar with yeah, Matt, absolutely. And I'll do a separate video because I took some pictures in the museum that were very telling, and I just got to get around to finding all the. I have a whole series of short clips and pictures to put together, but yeah. So there are things you can do though, right? I always believe there's options, right? That's part of my career is to find solutions. One, educate yourself on how this new tax law will affect you. Um, talk to an attorney. Someone said pay the extra $50, whatever, to H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt, whoever does your taxes. If you're doing them yourself, like what the hell is it called? The online tax thing. I did it last year and I can't remember what it's called. You guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, Jewish Redneck Prepper, Shalom. Good to see you today. Get familiar with the way the laws work. Pay the extra bucks if you can to get yourself that support from the H&R Blocks and TurboTax. Thank you, Matt. TurboTax, stuff like that. So if you do get audited, you get the support. If you do owe taxes, you can set up payment plans. So start immediately. Once you get your documents in and you get the confirmed amounts, set up a payment plan and spread it out so you keep more of your money earning interest for you while you're dealing with that. But get knowledgeable. Again, most people prep, but forget the financial part. And that's the financials a little more challenging, right? Because it can be very technical and it can be very time consuming. And a lot of us are working for a living, so it's hard, but that's an absolutely valid point. Also, learn about which attorneys in your area specialize in what skill set. Go over and get a business card. Hey, you're a tax attorney. Can I have a business card for the office? What kind of cases and situations will this attorney help? You can even talk to the receptionist. He or she will probably have the basic info, so you know where you can go if you get hit. Document properly. Okay. If they see a lie or you just did something half-assed and it looks like you're lying, even though you just didn't do a good job, you're going to become sus, right? And then they're going to go after you. Legal Shield, yeah. Prepaid, I believe that's a prepaid legal, isn't it, Random? These are things you guys can do now and just have those ducks available, have the ducks in a row. Keep in mind, food prepping, meal prepping, having backups for power and blackouts and stuff, those are equally important, right? If you're dealing with an audit or if you find out you owe something to the feds and you have to cut some expenses, already having food at home makes a big difference. So this is not an insurmountable thing. And actually, there are a couple of people, now that I'm thinking of it, who I'd love to bring on the show if I can get them to talk about dealing with taxes. But yeah, hey, Moonsprout, welcome. Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. You can request a tax advocate. And remember, 9 out of 10 times they're checking boxes. This is a government task, right? So if you get an advocate or a lawyer and you come to an agreement, that can help quite a bit. I think Mom just came home. I don't know why they're so. Yep, they heard Mom. Got good ears. They heard her from down the block through the house with me talking. But yeah, and some of this stuff you can't. The big farm equipment is tough, but I believe there's a way so you can deduct mileage. I know that. We owned a small business, so I'm trying to remember what the hell we did because it's been a hot minute. I thought you could depreciate the tractor. You should be able to. I thought you could write off a portion of a repair if it was essential. They're heralding her arrival. That's exactly what they're doing, Lucky. And again, those potatoes move fast. You'd be shocked, those little legs, how fast they run. Yeah, that may not be a terrible idea, Rip. And also, if you work for a company, right, a lot of companies have EAP, Employee Assistance Program. A lot of people think of it in terms of, oh, well, I'm stressed out or I'm having a marital problem. They actually have tax support. They have, you have the opportunity to go and speak to a financial advisor who can tell you, hey, look, if you're filing your taxes, this is what we recommend you do to reduce your profile. But other things you can do, change the House of Representatives. That's absolutely doable. Um, Change your local county, your state rep, your state senator, your local judges, your sheriff, your mayor. These all snowball the other way, right? It doesn't just snowball on our heads. We can snowball it the other way. You start doing that at the grassroots, right? Someone, I mean, because they can't enforce a law if the state says it's illegal and it violates the Constitution. The state technically may sue the Fed. We've seen it before. So affect your state. And yeah, yeah. And I assume you mean like the least you can. But yeah, um, reduce debt, right? That takes you out of the radar. Try to be inconspicuous. Basically, to Rip's, I think it was Rip's comment earlier on Yardbird with a financial advocate is gray man your finances. Don't do it illegally, but make sure your ducks are in a row, your ducks are in a row, and you've diversified enough where you're not going to get too bad a hit if one thing happens or the other. Um, yeah, there's ways around it, but it's a little bit outside. I know enough to be dangerous, and I would advise, hell, do some reading. Economic Ninja is a fun guy to watch, but if not, go to websites like Fidelity, Edward Jones, Bloomberg, all of these financial websites, and start reading up, educate yourself what the tax implications are. Are you going to be on the radar? How can you write it off without raising a flag? No, they can't just randomly garnish you. They have any even at the state level, they have to go through a due process. Okay. Or basically you could claim a Fourth Amendment violation. You started taking my pay, but I didn't get my hearing. And then they're in violation. But yeah, and I think the way to they are money hungry because they spent too damn much. Travis rides a thin line, but he is awesome. But yeah, they absolutely are, and vote them out. And if you can't affect the federal level, affect your local level. Even California, right? You have LA and San Francisco, which basically have made the state blue because of the stupid, what do they call it? The jungle primaries, which of course LA and San Francisco are going to dominate because it's basically the top two people, regardless of party. So you're going to get two leftists. They're not even Democrats. My dad was a Democrat. These are leftists. They're communists, really. Uh, so turn the rest of the state red so that all the little red counties can be a complete pain in the ass to LA and San Francisco. Do the same thing in your state. And for the record, there are a lot of farm and ag Democrats who are not fans of what they're seeing happening right now. So let them, if they're doing good by you, let them go and do battle. We probably would be a lot worse off were it not for guys like Joe Manchin and what's her name, Cinema, right? They held out until it was to the point they're like, okay, well, we'll do a symbolic win for election year, but they would have spent 2 trillion instead of 400 billion. Like the original bill was absolutely stupid. Hey, off the wall, good evening. So yeah, folks, educate yourself, change the local dynamics, uh, which I'm doing right now. I'm getting involved with the local stuff because we affect the local stuff. It will go to the state, right? We put people we like in our state, uh, our state House of Representatives, your state Senate. The state level Congresses are the ones that are going to set the voting districts. That's going to affect the Fed. You kind of see where that's going. So affect your local and yeah, get after it. Go make some noise. I mean, don't go throw Molotovs at people. That's not cool. But yeah, thank you very much. And wait, what is that? Correct. And then once you receive your receipt or your due amount, you can then set up a payment plan. And legally, they have to accommodate your payment plan. So, oh yeah, and congrats again to Drops. About time you got engaged. But no, that's good. And guys, offer your congratulations to Drops. That's a happy occasion. And but folks, there's ways to change this. There's ways to battle this. And remember, it's only as good as whoever's in office. All you need is one of the three, well, one of the four houses, right? So you got House of Representatives, the Senate, the presidency, and the Supreme Court, right? Just affect one of the four, and that's going to be the holdout. And we, right now the Supreme Court is to the right, the presidency is to the left, the Senate, I don't know where they are, they're all over the place. So go and change the House. That's absolutely doable, and I'm expecting it to change drastically when people in LA on the beach are saying, we need a different president because these guys just screwed us. That's telling you something. They're saying it in the streets. But folks, educate, make changes locally, and keep making noise. Write, email, be a pain in the butt. So anyway, folks, once again, congratulations to Drops and his new fiance. I hope you guys really have a great wedding and a happy life. And we want pictures of the wedding or we'll all feel left out. Congressman Rip, there you go. Yeah, why not? You know what, Rip, if you don't have time to be a congressman, city councilman is a great place to start, because city councilmen meet the senators and the representatives, and then you just give them a hard time until they do what they're supposed to. So absolutely, folks. Okay, Phoebe, ladies and gentlemen, that's interesting. But you know what? The little communists are playing the same game, so we just got to outdo them. But anyway, folks, God bless all of y'all. I'm going to call it here. But you guys take care, be safe, and yes, get involved at the state level. Help employees, city council, even school board. Because if you get on the school board, that way you can prevent this nonsense from being taught to children. But folks, there's ways to get around this. There's ways to deal with the nonsense. So you guys, God bless, Godspeed, be safe, and I will see you later this week. Don't forget to check out the videos. My take on the hypersonic missiles tomorrow and the combat pistol comparison on Thursday, because those two should be fun. I will see you guys later, and you guys be safe out there. Take care.